Nope, I think we're good now. All right, had the mic muted there for just a moment. Always check the sound before you go live. But alrighty, it's Wednesday night. Time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network, Western New York's home for motorsports. I'm Marty Czekala with you live inside the Slide Job Studios. Kelvin had something pop up last second, so hope he's doing okay. But oh my goodness, there is so much to talk about on this Wednesday. From NASCAR, we had the big penalties from Austin Dillon that was announced earlier today. Got to recap the Super DIRTcar Series. Last night they were at Land of Legends for night one of Summerfest. Also going to be discussing as well the big announcement that we got planned for next week on RSN Trackside. A whole lot of stuff to break down, so let's get right to it. RSN Trackside is brought to you by Bob Johnson Auto Group. They carry 20 different auto manufacturers ranging from Chevy to Ford to Toyota and many more in 26 locations throughout the state. Choose from thousands of vehicles in stock and check them out online at bobjohnsonautogroup.com to find a location near you. Well, we heard the big news earlier today. What were the penalties going to be, if there were going to be any penalties, with Austin Dillon after the controversy following his NASCAR Cup Series win at Richmond Raceway? We have a bunch of them. A couple of behavior penalties surrounding the driver and the spotter of the number 3, Brandon Benesh. Dillon loses 25 driver and owner points. Race finish does not count towards his playoff eligibility. Benesh has been suspended for the next 3 races through Darlington. Elton Sawyer met with the media earlier today after the announcement was made. Here's what Elton had to say about it.
Kind of body of work, if you will, that starting at turn 3, the contact with the 3 and the 22, and as it progressed all the way through 3 and 4, and then the contact with 3 and 11 all the way to the start finish line. We took all of that in totality as we looked at it. The number one thing is that we want to make sure that we are protecting the integrity of our playoffs as well as our championship when we get to Phoenix. And we want to make sure that our competitors understand that we want them to make all the decisions. We want them to be able to race hard. That's what our sport has been about for 75 plus years. But we also want them to understand, and I believe that each and every one of them understands that this crossed the line.
Absolutely did cross the line indeed. There is a flaw to this playoff system sometimes where you can win and you're into the playoffs or the next round, whatever it is. And sometimes drivers can take it too far by intentionally crashing their opponents. So, a couple of things I want to mention here in Elton Sawyer's press conference today with the media. First off, he apologized for the timing. NASCAR is going to work on improving the calls on the spot instead of over a multi-day process. Austin obviously can make the playoffs still because we got 3 races left to go. You've got Michigan, Daytona, and then Darlington. Sawyer said he wants to protect the integrity of the playoffs. Do it the right way. You can race him clean. May have to bump him. May have to move him. Or, like I said, just race clean. That definitely crossed the line there. There was a suspension that was considered because of the right rear hook on Denny Hamlin. Because we have seen a precedent set by NASCAR in these past few seasons with Bubba Wallace and Chase Elliott receiving 1-race suspensions for right rear hooking. Sawyer claimed that was on an intermediate tracks. Richmond was a short track. Finally, Sawyer believes stripping the win was unable to be done. From the current wording of the rule book, they look to add it possibly down the road. So we'll see what happens on that. But I feel like the penalties that were made with Austin Dillon, they are fair calls. And I feel bad for saying this about Austin Dillon because if we did not have that yellow on lap 399 for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. or Ryan Preece, Austin Dillon's winning this race. Probably would have been amongst the 5 victories. This would have been the one he earned the most. Just with the way he drove past Denny Hamlin for the race lead, had to work hard for it. He had a great race car, without question. We knew on the final lap that there was going to be contact between him and race leader Joey Logano because in overtime, we know that Logano had the much better fire compared to the 3 car. So But Jeff Burton said the same thing on NBC. There was going to be contact. And what did Austin Dillon do to turn 3? There was contact. He was trying to move him up out of the way or do whatever it could take. And so I can understand that. I was not too pleased with the way he took out Denny Hamlin with the right rear, put him in the wall, caution flag waves, and the winner is Austin Dillon. So initially my thought was, if you're going to make the call at the moment, you have to strip him of the win for rough riding, give it to Denny Hamlin, who was scored in second at the end. The reason why I say that is because over 10 years ago, you may not remember this because this was a long time ago, back when NASCAR had the Toyota All-Star Showdown at Irwindale Speedway. Joey Logano actually got penalized for rough riding, took out Peyton Sellers on the final lap. NASCAR deemed it intentional, gave the win to Matt Kobaluk. This was back in, I think, 09, if not 08. They should have done the same thing with Austin Dillon here in this situation. Now, that's a situation where the driver was stripped of a win from a wreck. Other people are making comparisons. Hey, this was like Denny Hamlin getting stripped at Pocono. Completely different thing. That was from post-race tech inspection. We are talking about an incident on the track that occurred that was deemed to be intentional contact. So the win still stands for Austin Dillon. So this is pretty much like an encumbered victory. Now, if you were to suspend him, there would have been an interesting question in mind. Would Austin Dillon be able to get a waiver to remain in the playoffs? Because here's the situation, and Dave Moody talked about this on Sirius XM Speedway brilliantly, and really brilliantly. I think he did it today, and I think even yesterday as well when I was listening on the way to Canandaigua. Moody brought up, if we're going to suspend drivers for one race because of intentional contact, why are we still giving them a waiver to remain playoff eligible? Getting injured is one thing, whether it be on the track or off the track like we saw with Chase Elliott. But getting suspended and then reinstated from an incident, I don't like that we're giving out waivers for that. Like when Johnny Sauter got suspended back in 2019, I believe it was, when he took out Austin Hill under yellow, was suspended for a week, got a waiver. That was not cool. We have seen NASCAR not give waivers in some circumstances, like when Spencer Gallagher was suspended in 2018 for testing positive for some sort of drug that was against NASCAR's substance abuse policy. NASCAR did not give him a waiver. So I felt like if you were to suspend him, don't give him a waiver. But I feel like NASCAR has sent the message. Denny Hamlin said actions detrimental. Tyler Reddick said on Sirius XM On Track Monday that we have crossed the line where we can do this and people say it's okay. That's not cool in our book or something like that. So NASCAR has set it straight pretty much. You intentionally take out somebody, your race finish may not count for the benefits of the playoffs. So pretty much an encumbered win. Brandon Benesch suspended 3 races because he said on the radio to wreck Austin Dillon. Now, I believe Austin Dillon, what he said in his post-race press conference when asked about that he's not even focused on what the spotter is saying. He's looking ahead of that start-finish line, trying to win the race. I believe that. Benesch, though, shouldn't really be saying that. He should pretty much be saying like a normal spotter, inside, outside, cars ahead, cars behind. You got this, baby. Come on, or something like that. So Richard Childress initially denied it, which obviously we obviously get why, because he's trying to defend for his team. So speaking of which, RCR will be appealing their penalty. So as of right now, Austin Dillon technically is in the playoffs for now. So that's a big thing for now. So Dillon's still in the playoffs, and we'll get to all the playoff situations in just a moment. On the other side of another penalty we had from today, Joey Logano was fined $50,000 for his conduct after the race, a behavior level penalty, because in case you didn't see it, and NBC caught this on television, Logano stopped in right next to the number 3's pit box on pit road and pretty much did a burnout to show his displeasure. Didn't get out of the car, didn't punch anyone, did a burnout to show his displeasure. We then saw when he stopped at pit stall 1 to pretty much meet with the media or something like that. Logano was yelled at by a NASCAR official. Like, you got to calm down. I understand you were sideways, but you can't be doing that. So, especially as well with Austin Dillon's crew guys, Austin's wife, his kid, already right next to the pit box, already allowed on the hot side of the pits. So, yeah, Logano can't be doing that. I get why he has a right to be mad, but you just can't be doing that. So I understand the penalty. I think NASCAR made some really good calls out of this. So, but moving on from that, I think I talked about my thoughts on the final lap. You know, I get the first one, but the second one I don't get. I felt like Denny Hamlin was the real winner, and a bummer for Austin Dillon because if it weren't for that first natural yellow we had, he would have been the driver to win the race. So, but hey, congrats to Austin, I guess you could say. So, one other thing I do want to bring up as well, and I talked about, and I brought this up on my Twitter page at Marty Czekala because I was listening to Sirius XM on track, and at the same time, I did not even expect the amount of likes, amount of views that the tweet had. Over 100,000 views, as well as I think about 1,600 likes. Appreciate you guys all supporting me on that. And so Reddick said, I'm worried about what this does for the young kids watching the sport. My kid thinks it's okay because NASCAR thinks it's okay. Well, NASCAR doesn't think it's okay, obviously now. So Reddick makes a really good point here because if your kids are watching this, or if the younger drivers that want to get interested in racing or are starting to race a car see that, they'll think this is okay, but it's not. You see race directors all around all around New York, I know of at least, that if you make contact with someone and spin them out while battling for the win, you will get sent to the tail, or you won't get the win. The win will go to whoever is the third place finisher. So, I love that Reddick said that it's not okay, and I think a lot of drivers will believe when we hear from them at Michigan this weekend in the pre-race availabilities that it was a fair assessment from NASCAR in the end. So, it's unfortunate though we were talking about that because the biggest story, if we did not have any yellows, were the tires. NASCAR had the prime option tires for the first time ever, and we had probably the best short track racing since Bristol this season. Goodyear hit a home run with that. The option red tires did what they were supposed to against the prime tires. I loved it. I think where you see it the most, where it was really effective, you look in those final few laps, right when Austin Dillon took the race lead. Daniel Suarez was able to unlap himself, get him back on the lead lap because he had the red option tires, and then we saw Suarez faster than Austin Dillon by about a second a lap. So I was thinking this could be Austin Dillon against Daniel Suarez for the win, as long as the tires stay intact to the 99. So, and the red tires held up a lot better than I thought. Daniel Suarez led 93 laps in the race, and he was one of the first drivers to use the option tires in, I believe it was stage 2 that he made the first switch from yellows to reds, and it absolutely paid off. Suarez took the lead away from, I believe it was Denny Hamlin, led a bunch of laps. In the end, Suarez rounded out the top 10. So I hope NASCAR and Goodyear put this in effect for the rest of the short tracks we have this season. When we look at the schedule coming up for the NASCAR Cup Series, let me get down here. Obviously, no short tracks in the remainder of the regular season. Bristol would be a great place to hold one at. But I think that's the final. No, as well as Martinsville. Think about Martinsville in November to set up the championship for. You could see someone pull off brilliant strategy to try and win this race. So that would be fun to watch. A road course, I don't know. We'll have to see. I want to say yes, but we don't know how the red tire looks in like any Goodyear tire tests in the past. The next road race won't be until Watkins Glen on September 15th. I can't remember when NASCAR was at the Glen, if Goodyear tested out that red tire or not, but I would like to see it at the road courses, but at this point, I just don't know. And leave this at the Cup side. Don't put it on Xfinity or trucks. They don't need it. The Cup Series was a lot of fun to watch out of that. So, but let's get you the results out of the Cup race. Austin Dillon with the win. Denny Hamlin second. Tyler Reddick third. Bubba Wallace fourth. Ross Chastain fifth. Christopher Bell sixth. Kyle Larson seventh. Carson Hocevar with a great 8th place finish. Chase Elliott ninth. And Daniel Suarez rounded out the top 10. The race lasted 3 hours, 3 minutes, 19 seconds, average speed of 100 miles an hour. Margin of victory was under caution. Christopher Bell won stage 1. Daniel Suarez won stage 2, also thanks to the red tires. 4 yellows for 26 laps, and 26 lead changes among 9 different drivers. So, meanwhile, in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Ty Majeski went back-to-back at Richmond Raceway, and Christian Eckes was able to clinch the regular season championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in playoff mode already for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on August 14th. So your 10 drivers in the playoffs in order of points seeding. Corey Heim with 41, Christian Eckes with 38, Ty Majeski 23, Nick Sanchez 18, Roger Carruth 9, Grant Enfinger, Tyler Ankrum each with 7, Taylor Gray with 3, Ben Rhodes with 9, and Daniel Dye with 10. It's gonna be a fun atmosphere for the playoffs here for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Here's how the schedule looks throughout the playoffs. Their first race of the playoffs will be at Milwaukee a week from Sunday. That's the Liuna 175 at the Milwaukee Mile. That will be the first race in the round of 10. Then it's Bristol September 19th and Kansas September 27th. The round of 8 looks this way. Talladega October 4th, Homestead Miami October 26th, and Martinsville November 1st. Truck Series Championship obviously decided on November 8th. So while we step aside, take our first break of the night. When we come back, we will recap what happened at Land of Legends Raceway for the Super DIRTcar Series and a whole lot more. Stay with us. RSN Trackside's around the corner.
The drive, dedication, the courage it takes to go from contender to champion. This is Driven Bob Johnson from the very start. It's how we build our team. It's how we win our customers. Bob Johnson welcomes every challenge to enter the winner's circle.
Bob Johnson's got your ride. Bob Johnson.
If you're living with pain or recovering from surgery and don't know where to start, Lattimore Physical Therapy can help. The Lattimore Promise includes an individual diagnosis with a highly trained licensed physical therapist on your first visit, a personalized treatment plan, communication with your doctor, and a continued personal care plan. You're never more than minutes away from pain relief. Visit LattimorePT.com.
Lattimore Physical Therapy.
We start with fresh, never frozen ground beef. Follow it with our homemade meat hot sauce and finish it with your choice of toppings, always made to order. Our world's greatest cheeseburgers will make you say,
Gimme, 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 feel great.
Hi, my name is Henry, and I want to welcome you to Batavia Downs Gaming. We want you to love it, not just like it here. We went to our customers and asked them what we can do better. You said you wanted a hotel, so we built one. More and better food, we did that too. A separate place to smoke and play, we even did that. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the right size with the right people in the right location. Batavia Downs Gaming, come here to dine, stay, and play.
While we celebrate 140 years of serving our community, the kind of delicious joy that lasts a lifetime, we look forward to serving you for 140 more. With hardworking, wholehearted, passionate people who will help shape new memories for generations to come.
The Red Wings are home this weekend. Friday is Star Wars night with fireworks. Saturday is basketball night with an Isaiah Stewart bobblehead giveaway and fireworks. Sunday is First Responders Day, and kids can run the bases. For tickets, visit redwingsbaseball.com.
Welcome back to RSN Trackside. RSN Trackside is brought to you by Bill Gray's, home of the world's greatest cheeseburger since 1938. Every Wednesday, $2 off kids' meals featuring burgers, Weigel's hot dogs, and more. Also at select locations, you can watch the race and grab some food and a drink at the Bill Gray's Tap Room. Find a location near you at BillGrays.com. Gimme, 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 Bill Gray's. All right, let's get into local racing here. Last night, the Super DIRTcar Series had night one of Summerfest at the Land of Legends Raceway. Here is your RSN Trackside recap. The annual Super DIRTcar Series Summerfest kicked off last night at Land of Legends Raceway. The series was supposed to be at Brewerton for night one Monday, but was rained out. Mike Mahaney and Alex Jankowski made up the front row to bring the field to green. While Mahaney led the opening 3 laps, Jankowski looked around the outside in 3 and 4 to take the lead away. Lap 17, Matt Williamson, who won the Stars and Stripes event July 4th, made his way onto the podium. Lap 26 restart, Matt Shepard pushed up, allowing Williamson to move up to second. The Land of Legends points leader on lap 35 caught up to Jankowski and looked in 3 and 4 to go to the point and wouldn't look back. Matt Williamson, whose car wasn't the best at Land of Legends in past years, thanks to the weekly experience he has in 2024, sweeps the Super DIRTcar Series races in Canandaigua.
Yeah, Alex was really relying on the cushion, and I felt like if the cushion went away a little bit, I'd be good because I could kind of maneuver. So, yeah, good car again. Too bad there's not 2 or 3 more of these races here. We got a lot of races at places that we run really good at coming up, and obviously we go to some places that we don't run good at. So I think that this was one of them places that we sucked at. Every time the tour came here, and bringing my own SW car here was a big help to running good on the series. I think that we got a good notebook for this place. And not only are we trying to race for a series championship, I think we got one more points race here and we're leading that deal. So Canandaigua's been good to me. 2 series race wins this year at Canandaigua was something I never would have thought we would have got. So we'll have to see what happens going forward.
Just being the leader, I think it's hard to really know where to be. I knew the top was going away on me there, but honestly, I felt like I was going to lose more time trying to figure out where I needed to be. So I was kind of hoping I can see a peak and have someone else show me, the lane and be able to take advantage of it, knowing where to be. But it just didn't play out that way. So I was kind of hoping we get back in lap traffic and be able to race, and we just weren't able to. So, we'll take it. A second at one of these races is pretty good, and, pretty excited to go back to Fulton. Only been there once, and we had a good run round. So hopefully it goes good.
Seconds behind them, look at the battle for third everyone was talking about. Stuart Friesen looked slow on Alex Payne to take the 3rd spot, but the Slide Job Express would come back with a slide job of his own in 3 and 4, but Friesen crisscrossed him to round out the podium.
I kind of went in there and tiptoed into 3 a little bit. I just didn't want to get up over into the slime, and he slid across. We were able to cross him up and race back. So good hard race in there, and yeah, it was cool to be at top 3.
Tonight is the final night of Summerfest at Fulton Speedway. Coverage can be seen right now on Dirt Vision. I'm Marty Czekala for Rock Sports Network. Oops, apologies for that, guys. But anyway, wow, that was it was a phenomenal race we saw at Land of Legends Raceway, and congratulations to Matt Williamson on the win and taking the sweep here. Appreciate those of you that actually came by to wish me a happy birthday. Definitely appreciate that. Yesterday, I turned 26, the big 26, and celebrated in Canandaigua, so not a bad day. Speaking of Super DIRTcar Series, qualifying underway right now at Fulton Speedway. They're doing Group A qualifying, and I believe it's Danny Johnson that is right now the quickest. Nope, actually Group B at the moment. Johnson the quickest in Group B, and Chris Heil the quickest in Group number A. STS 55 cars at Fulton tonight. I'll be keeping posted on the action. I'll definitely have that on the big screen when Trackside gets done here tonight. So, but got to give credit as well to the track prep crew at Land of Legends Raceway. There was an extended delay between the heats as well as the B main for Super DIRTcar Series. There was no B main needed for DIRTcar 358s, which was a part of the undercard. I got a little bit concerned with the way I'm thinking. Are we gonna be able to make the feature in time because they have the 11 o'clock curfew at Land of Legends? But nope, they got them on the track for the B main. The track, in my opinion, absolutely outstanding. It really was. Lot passing than we normally saw. We saw Yankowski take the lead from Haney, and then Williamson got the lead from Yankowski. Then we had that long run to the end of the finish where it got wild. It was all about saving tires. Alex Payne was fading back just a little bit. Stuart Friesen, Matt Shepard both caught him at the end. Payne finished 4th, Shepard 5th. Great racing there. One name I did not mention in that package that I mentioned as well in my column I posted this morning on Race Pro Weekly, Eric Rudolph did not have a fun preliminary action one bit. One of the slower cars in hot laps and one of the slower drivers in qualifying. Had a flat tire in his heat, so he had to start in the back of the B main. Went from 11th to 3rd. Did not get a spot in the show, so he had to use a provisional and started last and finished in the 6th position. What a charge from the fire starter. Unbelievable run that he had. He doesn't know what it is with this car. When I asked him what is it that you feel like it's been going, he's not too sure. But it's like that when the car comes out of the trailer, they have no speed. Then in the feature, they're extremely fast. So great run from him. Rudy's in full in. Actually, just had a spin in qualifying. I think that is Dura. Nope, either Dura or Swarthout. I can't. No, that is Dura in the number 14B that just spun at Fulton. So, again, I'll keep you posted on 2 things at once. So, Matt Williamson as well was able to gain 11 points on Matt Shepard in the championship race. That's something I didn't bring things up. So, going into today at Summerfest, it is a 16-point lead for Shepard on Williamson. And that's pretty much the big battle right now. Jimmy Phelps is 3rd in points, but he's 53 points back on the defending Super DIRTcar Series champion. So that's pretty much the big thing we've got in local racing right now at the moment. Nothing really else going on this weekend. I am at Outlaw Friday and Woodhull Saturday for the CRSA Sprints. I had to go to Woodhull last week, so that's why we delayed the show back a day. That was some good racing at Woodhull for the Rush Lake models, which is where I was at, and a pretty good show there as well. So let's move on to the good, bad, and ugly here of the entire weekend as a whole. The good, I'm going to go with Goodyear for producing an incredible option tire that created an incredible race and put on some decent long-run racing. All about strategy throughout that one. The bad of the weekend, probably Ricky Stenhouse Jr. when he got into Ryan Preece right in front of Austin Dillon to bring out that yellow with 2 laps to go. I was thinking to myself, are you kidding me? So that playoff upset would pretty much have to wait. And finally, the ugly Austin Dillon, and we all know why. So something I did not mention as well, about maybe 30 minutes to an hour before NASCAR put out the penalty report. Actually, I think I would say 45 minutes in the middle. Richard Childress Racing actually posted a video like they were savage, like they already knew what was going on. It's a video that says we're not done yet, and that's probably a poorly aged tweet, because I thought for a moment that meant, hey, we're all good, no penalty, we're already in the playoffs. So again, RCR is appealing it. They do not agree and plan to appeal. So let's move to the power rankings here for the night. The power rankings brought to you by Lattimore Physical Therapy in North Chi-Li, an outpatient physical therapy clinic treating a variety of health conditions and restoring optimal health, providing personal individualized care. Give them a call at 585-594-1688 or visit their location at 3237 Union Street next to the post office. Not there, visit any of their other 28 locations in the area, including in Churchville. So here are how my power rankings look for this week. Alex Bowman, number 10, 2 laps down, finishing in 28th. Very quiet day for him, as well as his Hendrick teammate, who is number 9. William Byron, 13th spot, no stage points in the race. Above him, Brad Keselowski, number 8th, also quiet throughout the race. He finished in 16th. The drivers in the top 7, they had a day or they increased some sort of trend. Bubba Wallace, number 7, a 4th place finish puts him back in the playoffs, up 3 points on the cut line, going into Michigan. 4 top 5s in the last 5 races for Bubba. He is starting to cook at the right time. Chase Elliott, number 6, another top 10 finish for him. Quiet day. These last few races have spent either a 9th or the 10th. So a 9th place finish for Chase, though, obviously much better than a 10th. Ryan Blaney, number 5, finished 11th, his 5th straight finish in the top 11. Dustin Long of NBC Sports with that stat. I can't remember if there's a streak that ended in the top 10, but I know this trend includes as well the win that he had at Iowa a couple weeks ago. Denny Hamlin goes up to number 4. Should have won this race. The runner-up, leading 124 laps. Best average running position of the race at 2.8. Right now, he has led in 5 of the last 6 races, and somehow does not have a win in that span of 6 races. Just tough luck for Denny, that's for sure. But Hamlin back of the power rankings at number 4, and in my opinion, number 1 in his podcast with all the things that he had to say on Actions Detrimental Monday. Christopher Bell, number 3, had a speeding penalty. It was a good start. Won stage 1, then he had the penalty, came back to finish in 6th. 122 laps were led, and now has 10 stage wins on the season, most of all drivers. Kyle Larson, number 2, 19 laps, finished 7th in the race. He led 19 laps, I should say. 4 top 10s in the last 6 races. Then my top driver in the power rankings remains Tyler Reddick. 3rd place finish. 4th top 3 in the last 5. 6 straight top 10s. 5 points back on Larson for the regular season championship. That's going to be tight for those 15 extra playoff points with 3 races to go at Michigan, Daytona, and Darlington. So it's going to be a fun little stretch to the finish of the regular season, that's for sure. So not a lot of other NASCAR headlines, though, outside of the Austin Dillon penalty. We did see some silly season news. Eric Jones has extended his contract with the Legacy Motor Club. So Jones will remain in the number 43 Toyota. Definitely a big story there. It is a multiple-year extension. It's been the key driver at Legacy Motor Club, even ever since it was Petty GMS before it was renamed to Legacy Motor Club. So Jones in his 8th full-time Cup season. He definitely likes being with Toyota. He's been with them the most. Was at Chevrolet in 2022 for that 1 year. Actually, was it 2022 or 2021? It was 2022, I believe it was. No, was it? Or was it 20? I can't even remember where the heck he was in 21. I think he was with Petty GMS still. So it would be 2 years then with the organization. And it seems like it's been pretty fun for the drive of the 43. Now, obviously, that team switched to Toyota for this season. And we'll see if he can improve throughout the rest of the season. So, want to give a big congratulations as well on the NASCAR side of things. Natalie Decker, along with Derek Lemke, announced today on social media that they are expecting their first child. So, congratulations to Natalie and Derek on that. Decker did say that she was planning on getting back in the business. She's planning on getting back into racing next weekend. So, or I'm sorry, not next weekend. What am I thinking? 2025. So, let's step aside. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we have a huge announcement to make on RSN Trackside. Rock Sports Network announced it earlier today. We'll talk a little bit more about that in our break coming up in just a moment. Stay with us. RSN Trackside around the corner.
The Red Wings are home this weekend. Friday is Star Wars night with fireworks. Saturday is basketball night with an Isaiah Stewart bobblehead giveaway and fireworks. Sunday is First Responders Day, and kids can run the bases. For tickets, visit redwingsbaseball.com.
While we celebrate 140 years of serving our community, the kind of delicious joy that lasts a lifetime, we look forward to serving you for 140 more. With hardworking, wholehearted, passionate people who will help shape new memories for generations to come.
Hi, my name is Henry, and I want to welcome you to Batavia Downs Gaming. We want you to love it, not just like it here. We went to our customers and asked them what we can do better. You said you wanted a hotel, so we built one. More and better food, we did that too. A separate place to smoke and play, we even did that. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the right size with the right people in the right location. Batavia Downs Gaming. Come here to dine, stay, and play.
We start with fresh, never frozen ground beef, follow it with our homemade meat hot sauce, and finish it with your choice of toppings, always made to order. Our world's greatest cheeseburgers will make you say,
Gimme, 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 feel great.
If you're living with pain or recovering from surgery and don't know where to start, Lattimore Physical Therapy can help. The Lattimore Promise includes an individual diagnosis with a highly trained licensed physical therapist on your first visit, a personalized treatment plan, communication with your doctor, and a continued personal care plan. You're never more than minutes away from pain relief. Visit LattimorePT.com.
Lattimore Physical Therapy.
The drive, dedication, the courage it takes to go from contender to champion. This has driven Bob Johnson from the very start. It's how we build our team. It's how we win our customers. Bob Johnson welcomes every challenge to enter the winner's circle.
Bob Johnson's got you right. Bob Johnson.
Welcome back to RSN Trackside. RSN Trackside is brought to you by Zweigel's, making great tasting quality meat since 1880. Quality meals from pop-open hot dogs to classic sausages and meatballs made easy. All right, so let's get to the big announcement for RSN Trackside. Next week on Trackside, we will be airing our show Thursday, August 22nd. Date to be determined right now at the moment, because we will be doing a live broadcast from Rev It Up Bar and Grill. It's a sports bar that's based in the Chili area. They've got a big theme on cars and racing. They'll be holding a car show as well as a Meet the Racers night. We'll be broadcasting live, talking all things cars, all things NASCAR, all things local racing. Hopefully we get a couple interviews and stuff like that. There will be some awesome food and drink specials as well. You can bring your own ride if you have a classic car. We're very excited for it. Meet the Racers Car Show at Rev It Up Bar and Grill. It's located on 25 Old Scottsville Chili Road. For more info, check out their Facebook page at Rev It Up Bar and Grill. I took a look at their menu earlier this week. They got some things that sound really good. Apparently they are known for their burgers, which I'm excited to try. That's for sure, as well as see what their chicken wings are like as well. A lot of things they're good. If you like sports bars, they got sports bar food. And if you like racing, this is probably the place to go to watch racing. So we're looking forward to them and looking forward to welcoming Rev It Up to the RSN Trackside family. So let's get into the this weekend's racing at Michigan International Speedway. It is just Cup and Xfinity this weekend. Obviously, we are in the home stretch for the NASCAR Cup Series. Let's remind you of the playoff picture going on in with 3 races left to go. And we got a good battle right now. Martin Truex Jr., 13th, 78 points up. Ty Gibbs, 18 up. Bubba Wallace, 3 up. There's a tie for the final spot between Chris Buescher and Ross Chastain. Chase Briscoe and everybody on back is in a must-win situation. So, man, I don't know. This is going to be tight. I think the best driver of everyone that has a really good chance to take it here would probably be, right now, per the odds on DraftKings Sportsbook, would be Martin Truex Jr. at 8-1 to try and win this race. But let me tell you something. I would have to keep your eye on Bubba Wallace. That's for sure. We all know Bubba. I believe he nearly won this race. I think it was 2 years ago at Michigan International Speedway. So he'll be one to watch out for. The best driver in the last few races, the last 3 races at Michigan, Denny Hamlin has an average finish of 3.7. 3 races, 3 top 5s. Only driver that has that. Kyle Larson has led the most percentage of laps in the last 3 races at 12%. He's got an average finish of 5.0, 3 races, and 2 top 5s. This is also a big race as well. We always talk about these big races that the drivers have and the owners have. But this is a big race for the manufacturers too. Because remember, the Heritage Cup is on the line to the winning manufacturer. Either a Chevy, a Ford, or a Toyota will take home the win. When we look at the past few NASCAR Cup races at Michigan International Speedway, Chris Buescher took the win in August, representing the Ford camp. And then trying to remember who else we had. I know Ryan Blaney won in 2021. 2022, I believe it was Kevin Harvick, and last year was Chris Buescher. So Ford's pretty much had the last few wins, and they've been the best at Michigan. Remember when Michigan used to have 2 races in June and August? You combine that, Ford has won 44 times in action. That's a pretty astounding number. Chevrolet has won 26 times. And then as for Toyota, they've won 5 times. The winningest manufacturer that's currently not racing is Mercury with 12, but I believe Mercury is now defunct these days. Yeah, they defuncted 13 years ago. So, but the manufacturer game will be very important. So we're not going to get into the odds really for this weekend because we've got no Kelvin with us. So I don't like to put any of our Monopoly money on things. But I do want to mention this, and I really do, because Kelvin had a bad weekend when it came to money-wise. He's all the way down to $1,459.78 with nobody correct. I had 4 or 5 right. The 3-leg parlay was hit, and my top 5 was hit. So I got a good lead. I have $1,615.87. Obviously, we won't be doing any DraftKings odds this weekend. If you want to know who the favorites are to win, Denny Hamlin at 5.5 to 1. Then Kyle Larson at 6.5 to 1. Ryan Blaney at 8 to 1. Same with Martin Truex Jr. Tyler Reddick 8.5 to 1. Joey Logano, Christopher Bell 10 to 1. Brad Keselowski 11 to 1. William Byron, Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott 14 to 1 odds to win. So DraftKings believes 2 drivers that will finish in the top 5. That's Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. So, excuse me. Now, when I look at this, as I go into the weekend, if there's somebody I want to put my money on, I think you would go safe and go with Denny Hamlin. Either Denny Hamlin or maybe even a guy like Ryan Blaney. But I'll give you my pick to win in just a moment. If I'm looking for somebody for a top 5 finish, probably Tyler Reddick's a guy once again. The odds definitely went down from Richmond to Michigan this weekend for a top 5. Now are plus 115. Not a bad choice to make to try and profit off of anything. Maybe Brad Keselowski the way to go, and same with Chris Buescher. Keselowski plus 140 and Buescher at plus 180. So with that being said, not going to go. I think we'll just get right into predictions here on the weekend, who I think is going to win. So no truck race, as I mentioned. Xfinity Series is running Saturday at MIS. That's a 3:30 p.m. start time. The Cabo Wabo Tequila 250. Notable entries in the race. Daniel Dye back in the 10. Number 15 will be driven by Lawless Allen. The 19 is Taylor Gray. The 20 backed by John Hunter Nemechek. Noah Gragson in the 30. Carson Kvapil in the 88. My pick's going to be one of those notables. Give me John Hunter Nemechek for the win on Saturday. That race, by the way, will be seen on USA Network. Finally, the Firekeepers Casino 400 at Michigan, 2:30 on USA. My pick to win the race this weekend, yet to win on the season. Heck, it's been a while since he last won a cup race. And you know what? I think he's going to make his way in the playoffs with this W. My pick to win this weekend's race at MIS, Bubba Wallace. The one that got away from Michigan a couple years ago, comes back to him. He takes the checkers on the haters, Bubba Wallace will lock himself in the playoffs, leaving us a really good battle between Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, and Ty Gibbs for the final playoff spot, or final 2 or 3 playoff spots with 2 races left to go. So it's going to be a fun weekend. I love Michigan. Used to go there all the time as a kid. Unfortunately, with work now these days, I'm unable to now. But it's always exciting. 2 Groove Racing. Obviously, the intermediates, the next gen's going to put on a heck of a show. You don't want to miss out on it, that's for sure. So, again, next week's RSN Trackside will be back at Rev It Up Sports Bar and Grill. You don't want to miss out on it, that's for sure. I'll have some guests set, hopefully a co-host as well. You don't want to miss it, that's for sure. So, special thanks to Gary working behind the camera and the computer. I'm Marty Czekala. This has been RSN